Hello, good morning. Here we are. It's Monday. It is time for our weekly intention discovery through mindful journaling. And if it's your first time here, welcome. I'm delighted to see you. And you might discover a way of journaling that is different from what you have done in the past. So here we go. Now, let's get grounded just a little bit before we do anything else, because I like to start any journaling session with some grounding. So we'll just do a little bit of breath work. I want you, if you have a watch on, I want you to take it off. So here we go. Take that off. And then I also want your feet to be flat on the ground, legs not crossed. And the reason that we take our watch off, that we make sure our feet are flat, our limbs are not crossed, is because we want the energy to flow through us. Just flow freely through our limbs and through our whole essence, our whole body. All right. Now, I like to close my eyes when I do a little breath work. You can keep yours open, totally fine, or gaze softly downward. So let's take a deep breath in. And let's hold it here for just a moment. And release. Again. And hold. And release. And one last time. Lovely. All right. Now I get up on Monday mornings and I'm getting ready for the week. And I ask myself, after doing some grounding like we just did, I usually do some tapping and a meditation additionally. And then I ask the question, what tool is it that will guide us, you and me, to our intention for the week? And this week, it was, again, my book, Inner Affirmation Inspirations, which you can get on Amazon, or you can get the whole bundle like you see here on my website. But here's the book. And what I like to do, and my book is looking a little rough after a few years because I use it every day. I like to flip through the pages and find the page that works best for me. And here's a great one, the one that came up for me today. You guys are going to love it. My Laughter Heals. So there's 365 different affirmations, inspirations, and journaling prompts in this book. And I love this one this week. I love having fun ones like this. I mean, I like them all, but I love having them. So just hang out and listen while I read the inspiration, and then we'll go from there. Laughter is a powerful medicine that can lift your spirits and the spirits around you. Your positive energy and contagious smile can brighten even the darkest days. When you laugh, you release tension and stress, and you invite joy and happiness into your life. Your laughter is a reflection of your inner strength and resilience. It reminds you that no matter what challenges come your way, you have the power to overcome them and find joy in the present moment. I love this. I love this so much. Right? No matter what's going on, you can overcome and find joy in the moment, because the moment is what we're trying to, what we're living each day. And some moments are going to be better than others. I totally get that. But I love this. All right. So let's get our journals. So grab your journal, and you can actually get one of my branded journals on my website. I spent a long time trying to make sure I had the right journal, because I'm living with this thing every single day, and I want to make sure that it's nice, comfortable on my hands. It's a good size. The paper is nice, and I have a friend who likes to journal with felt tip pens, so I made sure that the paper didn't bleed. But the first thing I want you to do is to write the date. Now, you're looking at the date here that I wrote, and you're going, why is that so messy? Well, that is the trick, or the secret to the form of mindful journaling that I do. And that is to journal with my non-dominant hand. So I'm left-handed, but when I'm journaling with my right hand, because I get more and more authentic results from my journaling when I am using my non-dominant hand. So trust me on this. Go with me on the journey. I know that it sounds a little crazy, but just trust me. Trust me. I've been doing this for over 2 decades. And I too was skeptical when I first was introduced to this. And then I quickly saw the results. And the results were just nothing short of amazing. All right, so we're going to journal with our non-dominant hand. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to write the date with your non-dominant hand. And this is letting your inner wisdom know that you are opening yourself up to this form of wisdom being received. People talk about intuition, and I've never been able to, even when I'm meditating, and I meditate a good bit, I can't quiet my mind long enough. But when I'm journaling like this, I'm very hyper-focused. This is an act of mindfulness. And being in that moment and creating those words means that we can't let our mind run down the road with the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And there's science that backs this up, and I talk about it in my book here. But in essence, this is mindfulness, and this is mindful journaling. Now, your prompt for today, because we have a prompt to go with that reading, is very simple. What makes me laugh? It's very simple. You don't have to be fancy. It's just start writing. So what I want you to do is write the journal prompt with your non-dominant hand. Here, and I'll show you just a second. Write the journal prompt with your non-dominant hand like this. And then just start writing. And here, I'll show you some examples here's some previous examples. And yes, it's messy. Sometimes they're just words. Sometimes they're phrases. Very rarely, for me, are they full sentences, because by the time I get a word or two out, another word has already come into my mind and I need to get it out. There is no right or wrong way to do this. You are writing what is coming into your mind in that moment. You write it, and by the time you're done, something else has come up. Don't be thinking about what you want to write. Focus on creating the words, and the words that are right for you will present themselves. All right, I'm going to play some music. I'm going to let you journal for a few minutes. If you have questions for me, and here, let me pin the prompt to the top of the page. If you have questions for me while we're journaling, just pop them into the chat. I will be answering them while I'm doing my own journaling. So here we go. Okay. All right. So what came up for you while you were journaling? This was it seems oversimplistic in terms of the question, and yet it presented itself to us today. So why? Why did it present itself to us today? That is going to be reflected in your journaling. And let me just also add that if you feel like you need to journal more on this topic, do not hesitate to continue when we're done here, because keep journaling until you feel like you are complete, like all the messages that you need to receive have been received. All right, so here's my journaling right here. And you can see I had about a page, which is kind of normal for me. That's usually when I feel like, okay, I have what I need. Sometimes it goes for a couple pages because it's a topic that I need more. But I'll read you a little bit of what came up for me. So to answer the question, what makes me laugh, I wrote sunshine. I wrote Shelby. That's my cat. I had this vision of her rolling around on the carpet on the catnip that I put down last night. She was having a blast. Silliness, funny movies, wit, discussion, listen for joyful moments. So it was interesting how it went from, okay, observation to, yes, observing, but listening for those moments. And that is actually going to be my intention for the week. So that is what you'll do next, is look at what you wrote and find the word, the phrase, the sentence, whatever it happens to be, that is your number one thing that you want to be intentional about for the week. Okay? And then I want you to write it with your dominant hand. And I'll show you mine here in just a moment. And I want you to write it with your dominant hand on a little piece of paper. And you can see I've written, listen for joyful moments right here. This is my intention for the week. Yours is different because your writing is different. But this is mine. And I'm going to take this little small but mighty scrap of paper and I'm going to put it in my pocket. And I'm going to carry it around with me on my person for the week, because that is what I need to remind me and bring me back to this moment right here, right now, where we were very present and mindful in our journaling. So I have that in my pocket every once in a while. I'm like, oh, there's something in my pocket, because I've had that happen to me. And then I go, wait, that is my intention. What does it say? And I pull it out and I look at it. Sometimes I remember what it says. Sometimes I don't. It doesn't matter. I pull it out, I look at it, and I go, okay, that's what I'm going to focus on this week. That's what I'm going to focus on in this moment. What is it about this moment that I needed that reminder? And that's why we do that. So if you would like to share what your intention is, or what I like to call my inner affirmation, you can put that right on the comments or in the chat. I would love to see it. And if you have any questions about anything that we've done here, just please don't hesitate to ask. And I will see you next week. Have a beautiful week, and let me know how it goes in the comments.